Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna try this again, and prayerfully, it's working this time. Um, so the Lord gave me a dream of three women, and those three women are very near and dear to my heart. However, in the times that we are living in today, what we are going through today, what we see today, we are missing their voices. So, with that being said, um, I'm working on and have created a project called The Mothers in Zion, sitting at the feet of wisdom. Because we glean and we get so much from them. We get so much wisdom, we get so much encouragement if we listen. So, what I'm about to share with you is an audio recording with pictures that do not depict my family, do not depict anybody in my family, because my grandmother comes from what you call the silent generation. Most men and women that were born in that time, they don't like social media and don't want anything to do with it. However, she understood the vision and she understood the call. So, the woman you're going to hear, her name is Margaret J. Drummond. For all of my uncles and my cousins and my aunties and all of my family, all of my older cousins. She does know that this is taking place, and I do have permission to do this. Um, so I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that it brings a little bit of laughter. I hope that you glean from the nuggets that she gives and the information that she drops. Like, I hope that this shifts your mindset in another way. Some of us don't have grandmothers, some of us don't have mothers that are still here, but mine is. So, with further ado, I will share what we created on today. This is only part one, so there's two more parts, and there are two more women that will be able to give us nuggets and wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Um, just take some time out, listen to it. I can tell you now that it is an hour long, and she probably could have went on for longer, but it is an hour long. But it's worth every word of just listening to someone tell their story, um, and also give you knowledge. There is a voice missing in the world today, and that voice is the Mothers of Zion. I invite you to listen to the story full of wisdom we so desperately need in today's world. Listen beyond the name drops and hear the story and the wisdom unfold. Dedicated to every mother in Zion, we hear you, we need you, and we thank you. So, Grandma, I know you as Grandma and Miss Mickey, but what is your name?
My name is Margaret Drummond, better known as Margaret Julia Drummond.
Julia.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought you said Junior. Where did you grow up as a child?
I grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I've been here ever since I was 3 years old.
Where was you at before that?
Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Do you remember anything about Spartanburg?
I remember my granddaddy and my daddy moving us to Winston-Salem. I can remember that I was playing in the yard in front of a clapboard house and people sitting on the porch, but I don't remember who these people are. I remember bits and pieces about some things that happened in South Carolina.
Why did they make the move from South Carolina to
But
here?
it was during the Depression times and jobs were hard to find. And one of my aunts' husband had gotten a job at Export Tobacco Company. And so the rest of the family moved here in order to find jobs.
Oh, okay. Um, where did you live as an adult?
In Ruston, I lived somewhere everywhere. I lived on Pittsburgh Avenue. I lived on Clark Avenue. I lived on. I lived in Happy Hill Garden. I've lived in Walkertown. I've lived all over Ruston.
So as they have generation names for us. Like I think I'm considered a millennium. I don't like that term, but you were born between 1925 and 1945, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that means you're part of the silent generation, which would kind of be befitting on why you will not allow me to video record your face or put any of your stuff on
No,
social media.
I don't like social media. Too much information out there.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have any children?
Yes,
How many?
I have 4 living.
Okay, how many do you have in total though?
No, I'm wrong. I got 5 living.
Lord Jesus.
One dead.
Okay. How many boys?
5 boys and 1 girl.
Okay. And did you ever get married?
Nope. Long story.
Long story. Okay. So you were single. What was your life like? How did you make it till today as a mother, a worker, and just a woman in general?
It was hard, but I guess it was the basic foundations that I had as a child. Go see who I took on.
Somebody blowing for you.
Oh Lord. Excuse me. I mean,
So you have what, 5 boys and 1 girl? One passed away,
mm-hmm,
which is
correct.
Uncle Quentin.
Mm-hmm.
And my question after that was, um, you were single, so what was it like as a mother, an employee, and a woman in general?
Well, it was hard. It was really hard. And back then, in the day, people really looked down on women when they didn't have a husband and had children. But I was taught that no matter what you have to go through, you stand, hold your head up, and keep working, and always learn to depend on yourself and to believe in yourself. And that's what I did.
So what wisdom would you give to every single woman out here trying to make it now? Hot commodity, lady. You're a hot commodity. German residence. Hello.
Miss B, Miss B Betty Graves, she must think she had Ramona. She
Uh-huh.
gonna call back.
Okay, so you were saying, and I asked you, what wisdom would you give to every woman that is single?
To stand up, be honest, be independent, listen to good advice. I got a lot of wisdom from older women that took me under their wing. And work for what you want. Don't depend on nobody for nothing. Work for what you want.
What would you say as raising your boys as a single mother? What kind of wisdom would you give?
Well, I try to teach them the basic things that I was taught by my grandparents because I lived a buck of my life with my grandparents. My mama and daddy separated when I was 8 years old. So I had we lived in like a combination household. My aunt, my uncle, my grandmother and grandfather, we all lived together. And I learned a lot from all of them. And I apply that still today, the things they taught me, the things they learned. And I tried to teach my children to be honest, have integrity, keep a job, and that a good name is more can be carry you further than money can sometimes. And that's what I try to tell everybody. Stand up, work what you want, You can accept help from people. There's such a thing as being too independent, but learn to depend on yourself.
And so you either were raised by parents or lived through a part of the Great Depression and World War II. You grew up knowing life would be hard. Your Christmas presents was probably fruit or food, and then you encountered the Cold War, fear of nuclear attacks from Russia, bomb shelters, and hiding under desks at school. You witnessed JFK and MLK, John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King's assassination, and you lived through the psychedelic drugs, prosperity years. You lived through the civil rights movements. You know what it is, what it feels like to be segregated, to be hated, to not have equal rights, to protest, and you see firsthand a span of generations after you reap the blood, sweat, and tears that came from your pains, your joys, and your life. What wisdom would you give to us, and how would you encourage us to cope in a time where the world is destroying everything you fought so hard to leave us?
Well, nowadays I see young people, they don't know the struggle that people went through to get get to be where they for in order for them to enjoy what they enjoy nowadays. They don't realize that people lost their lives for the right to vote. They don't realize what it's like to go to bed with no food or have enough to feed your family. They don't realize that. Even though people worked, they were cheated out of their money. I remember when my daddy worked at this grocery store and he didn't read and write that well, and they would cheat him out of his wages. But I could figure out what he was supposed to make. But somebody have to speak up and speak out for people. And I don't like injustice of any kind, regardless, be it black, white, blue, green, or gray. People are human, and we are all of God's children. And we should learn to respect each other and respect human life. And it seemed to me this is lost. People don't mind killing folks for little or nothing. They have no respect. And the thing about it is so sad that grown-ups don't have any respect. So if grown-ups don't have any respect, how is the next generation expected to respect older people? They don't care, seem to care what they do, what they say, or how they say it. There used to be a time when you lived in a community, people had role models to look up to. Now they don't. Even from the president on down, they don't show respect for each other. And it's sad. It's sad. We're living in a time where people need to be praying. And I see so many people, older people, instead of going to church trying to teach right from wrong to young adults, they're out there contributing to um to their delinquency. So we just have to pray and ask God to give us the strength to do what we can do to help them.
So before I started recording you, you kind of talked about how you were actually a part of the civil rights movement. What did you do, and how would you tell your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, to be more of an activist than a delinquent or part of the issue?
Well, I came along during a time when it was the anti-poverty program was in existence, and I had just got I was out of work and I was trying to get um, help for me and my children. So I finally was able to get food stamps, but you had to pay so much in order to get so many. And I remember it was the Northwestern Bank on Third Street, and I was standing in line. We were standing in line, me and some other people, waiting up to be waited on, and it was raining, and we had to go to the drive-through one. They were waiting on people in cars and left us out there in the rain. So when I got my food stamp, I marched right up to Miss Louise Wilson's office in the old government building. And I told her that I didn't like the idea of them waiting on people in cars and let us stand out there and get work with because somebody was getting paid to disperse those food stamps to us. And she asked me where did I live, and I told her. She said, Miss Drummond, we need more people like you who are outspoken and not afraid to speak up. She hired me on the spot as a community outreach worker and gave me a job working in ESR. And that's how I became a real activist because I'd always been one to speak out against for the right and against wrong. And I became involved in, in things like the Welfare Rights Organization, and we did referrals to people to legal aid to get changes in housing, in the housing authority, help people get their houses repaired. We even blocked out Walltown Street because they blocked off 52, and we didn't have a one way in and one way out of Happy Hill Garden. And that meant that we had to come Alder Street into Happy Hill. And in order to get to Alder Street, we had to cross Walltown. So we blocked off Walltown. Therefore, the big trucks from McLean Trucking Company couldn't get up and down Walltown and get out either. So this brought this brought attention to Mayor Benton, MC Benton. He was the mayor at that time, and he was the executive director of McLean Trucking Company. Boy, we got some action then. And then we did stuff, and I remember like um, and the housing authority, they just had a whole lot of crazy rules. If you didn't cut your grass, they would cut your grass and charge you $15 or $20. Who can afford that? So they got that change where they had a contractor to come and cut people grass and all that. Then we organized like gap sessions for women who could come in and sit down and talk about some of the things they're going through. And then we had like a psychologist to come in and listen to them. And one of the ladies that worked in ESR and lived in the community, she would help her out. And they could talk about anything they want to. Sometimes Black women don't have anyone to talk to. They go through traumatic situations where they've been molested, raped, and all this stuff. They don't send these women to, they didn't send those women to psychiatrists and anything. They had to deal with it the best way they can. And then if they end up pregnant, the woman was to blame. But a lot of things have changed now. Even where if you like when I lived in Happy Hill Garden, if you got non-support through court, they base your rent on that amount of money too. And if you didn't get that amount of money, you had to report it or not report it. So what I chose to do, I chose to go downtown and tell them you can have it all because I'm going to feed them anyway. But I got subpoenaed to court.
Well, why did they subpoena you?
It was so funny. I was sitting on my porch and the police were going across the street and I told my neighbor, the police looking for you. And they said, we were just sitting there cutting up. And they said, here come the police across the street. He said, do any of you all know Margaret Drummond? I said, yes, who and why? And they gave me a subpoena to come to court because they wanted to know if I was being intimidated because of the money cost. A lot of men would beat the women up and take the money from and all that. I told them no, it wasn't worth it. Mm-mm. So I just let them have it.
So you grew up in a time. Well, I grew up always hearing what goes on in this house stays in this house, and that that was like really really strong in your era. And so I remember being young. Don't you tell nobody what go on in this house. And it made me think when you said black women go through a whole lot of stuff and they don't have nobody to talk to. They don't talk to anybody. But today, one of the biggest things that you hear about is mental health and speaking out, finding you somebody to talk to. There's nothing like I push it for one. Push seeing a therapist, like talk to somebody. Don't you hold all that stuff in because you go crazy.
Well, you know, you have some wise old women. You didn't have to tell them what's going. They can tell you what's going. They can sense what's going on.
Well,
Like me, I can lay down and dream things, and I dream it. That's so real. And when they happen just about the same way I dream them. And I've been, maybe if the way I say it or present it that turn people off. But these are things I've seen, and they've actually happened the way I've seen them.
I guess that gift runs in the family then.
Discernment.
Yes.
But my granddaddy used to always tell us, listen, listen, put it back in the back of your mind, and then someday it may come to fruition where you can use it. And my granddad was never a slave.
Oh wow.
My granddaddy's daddy was an only child, but he had children everywhere.
Papa was a Rolling Stone, Grandma.
Well, you know, if you were free, that means you had to stay on the move. And I remember my aunt used to say they had to change their names.
Mm.
And because they would try to take what you had. Now, when we did our family reunion, my niece and my sister they went down in the archives, and they found a copy of my great granddaddy's will. So now he must have had more than one child because he will each of his children $25 and land. $25 back in the 80s, that's just like over $1,000 something dollars now. I guess maybe more. But my granddaddy, my great granddaddy, Jesse, he had 6 wives, I believe.
Mm. Mm. Over the years or at the same time?
I don't know if it's the same time or not, because I remember my grandma used to tell her, I remember my granddaddy say, men used to have more than one wife. And I didn't understand that. But he talked, but he didn't talk much. And I always wondered why my Aunt Mason had red hair and her children had red hair and the rest of them was black.
Mm.
But my grandmama was raped by a white man. And on my Aunt Mason's birth certificate, it has her being what happened never was talked about. My Jumel.
My grandma Jumel.
No.
Your mama.
Not my mama. My cousin Lois's mama. Not
Oh, okay.
my Aunt Mason.
Okay.
But my granddad underneath his clothes looked like a white man.
So you think he was mulatto?
He had to be. Cause and the reason I say that, because Aunt Martin used to say that we were Patrick, and we came to America by way of Australia. And we were free.
Mm.
Now, I don't know the whole history about it, but I know Joanne know more about it because she has researched and researched it. But people don't like the truth. And I think no matter how bad the truth is, children need to know who they are. I know people right now that has been raised and adopted by people, and I can tell you who they natural mom and dad is. But I think they need to know. But it's not like it back in the olden days. Nowadays, you can look up, go on the internet, and find out who your natural mama and daddy is, whether they want to own you or not.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot of secret going on. I remember it was a family used to live around the corner from my sister. That man had children by his wife's sister, and his daughter.
Wow.
There's nothing new going on in this world. It's been going on ever since the world began. People just keep secrets. And if you got the more money people got, the more secrets they got.
That's good. Never thought about that. The more money they got, the more secrets they got.
Yeah. So they can pay to have stuff.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think in your eyes, because in my eyes I believe that it never went away. It was just only suppressed. Um and the reason and what I'm referencing is racism. I feel that it was suppressed because we had some strong
Black leaders.
black leaders um, that pretty much said we're gonna hit them where we're gonna hit you where it hurts. And when I say hit you where it hurts, I mean hit um, white America where it hurts, and that's their
Pocketbook.
pockets.
Pocketbook.
And so
But
you live through that. So how do you view that?
but you know what? My granddaddy always used to tell us a white man has a way of keeping you in your place.
Mm.
And I have a dear friend, I think about her often before she died. And I said, why don't you do so and so? She said, I don't bother people. Say, Drummond, the people you try to help the most is the one who set out to hurt you. And we as black people got to learn that if we don't stick together, we're in trouble. And I tell people, all white people are not bad. All black people are not good. If it hadn't been for the white people, we'd still be in slavery.
Wow.
But the thing about it, we have when we began to get jobs and was able to buy and do some of the things white people were doing, we became just like them. Even in your family, when they got good jobs and got uh, to a certain level in life, they didn't want to be bothered with you. And these are the people that you have to go to school, you have to get a job, and all of that. They look down on their nose. It's in my family. It's in this family. I'm not gonna look down my nose at anybody. I'll try to help anybody who try to help themselves. But if a person don't want to help themselves, there's nothing you can do about it. But it's our fault because we give our children everything that we thought we should have had. But I'm glad I didn't have everything that I should have had. But I've always been independent. When I was a child, whatever my chores, I get up early in the morning, get them done, and I go with my neighbors. I wash, iron, clean up, cook, babysit, or whatever to make my own money, to buy my own things, and help in the house. But now we come from a generation that all they want. I was telling my little great niece, honey, I don't care how pretty you are or how good looking you are. You gotta get some knowledge up here. And you gotta learn how to work. Learn how to do a little bit of everything. Cause you don't never know what you gonna come to. My granddaddy didn't have no mercy on us cause we were girls. We had to saw logs and wood, chop wood, roll wheelbarrows and coal, walk behind. I never held a plow in my hand, but I used to drop them seeds in the row. And my uncle said, put a couple here and drop a couple in. I didn't know what a couple was. I was putting 4 in there. He said, no, a couple is 2. But those are the things I remember. I remember my aunts used to sit out. My grandma had a quilting frame downstairs. And she would put that with a wooden frame, and she would put that material, and we would quilt those quilts. And I remember people used to have lace curtains, and she had these stretchers, and they had all these little bits of like 1,000 little nails. And you take your starch, put that stiff starch in those curtains, and you take it and stretch them curtains all the way across them necks, sticking your finger with them little nails. But when they dry, they be so pretty. But I learned all that stuff. My granddaddy used to sit down and take a piece of hickory wood and split it, strip it into strips, and sit down and cane the bottom of chairs. That's how art is gone. I probably can do it because I watched him do it. I used to help him do it. But all these things are gone. My granddaddy didn't throw away nothing. He would take leftover scraps of wood and take his knife and he whittled it down to like animals and cows and horses. I don't know what happened to him, but I know he did it. My granddaddy was a jack of all trades. He learned, he could even make whiskey.
What was granddaddy's name?
My granddaddy's name was Richard Butler Rooker. And I had an uncle that was named after him. You know he was dead and buried. They didn't know, his grandchildren didn't know his name, his real name. They thought his name was R.B. Rooker. His name was Richard Butler Rooker. I said, his name is not, he had a name. I said, R.B. Jr. was Richard Butler Jr. That was the only, my granddaddy had. R.B. was the only one to live to be an adult. There was one named James, he died at birth, something like that. But anyway, he had been hunting and he had cut a load of wood. He went to take the rifle off the back of his wagon and it caught on a twig and it blew him away. Mm. And from that day until the day my grandma died, she didn't go to nobody's funeral. She didn't even go to my granddaddy's funeral. And she going to Pop's funeral. I said, no, she ain't either. She said she wasn't going, she ain't going. She didn't go either.
What was grandma's name?
Her name was Jeanette Wood, W-O-O-D Rooker. And she did not like the name Jeanette, so she called herself Nettie.
Why didn't she like the name Jeanette?
I don't know.
What do you say about nicknames in our culture and Black culture? Because, like you said that they ain't even know the man had a name. They thought his name was R.B.
Everybody, yeah. Man, I was waiting for this lady. She was going up and down the street looking for me. And looking for me, they didn't know me. All they knew was Mickey. I think they're all right in one way, but not just about all my children have nicknames.
Yes, they do. Q-Dog, do.
No. Quint's name was...
The names you gave them.
The first nickname Quint had was Buck Rabbit.
Why?
Uncle Elmo gave him that nickname because he was so skinny. He had little red rings around his eyeball. And he looked like a scared rabbit. He was so little. And then they started calling him Lefty, and then they started calling him Q-Dog. Calvin's nickname was Man. Spencer's nickname was Little Spence, Cruise Chef, and the Duke.
Cruise ship. He was
Mhm.
in the military?
Hmm?
Was he in the military?
No, one of my neighbors gave him that way because his dad would give him money. He had him in his back pocket and his Bible was swinging. Would be swinging. I don't know why Christine gave him that name, but she started calling him Khrushchev.
Oh.
And let me see, Sturda's nickname is Mouse.
He only had one, just Mouse.
Yeah, he had another mouth mighty that I gave him. But they call, well, the people in the neighborhood used to call him that. They'd come down the street, so they used to say, Mouse, where's Minnie Mouse? So that's just a nickname that stuck with. Let me see. Tilda's nickname is Puna. And Mike's nickname is McNasty. No,
But that's what they call
yeah, Mike and McNasty.
him. But his name is not Mike, like Michael. His name is Micah.
Yeah, he got a biblical name, Michael Stephen Drummond. His name means God fearing.
I remember I called him because I was raised. Everybody called him Mike, so I thought his name was Michael. And one day I got older, he was like, "My name is not Michael. My name is Micah." And I said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, we had a lot of trouble when in school because he spelled it, he write his name correctly. The teacher erased it out. And I had to write him notes and tell him that's his name, Micah.
So, what wisdom would you leave to every man in your life? Sons, nephews, cousins, grandchildren, great grandchildren. That's a man.
First of all, men should put God first in their life. And next to God, his family. His children will be a part of him to the day he died. Because wherever they go, they take him with them. Because they're his blood. No one should be more important than your children. And get your wife and keep all your eggs, as my granddaddy used to tell my cousins and my brothers, in one basket. It's cheaper. And non-support over here, non-support over there, and alimony over here, and alimony over there, and you ain't doing nothing. You just was a sperm donor.
Hmm.
And you don't have to have a lot of money to be involved in your children's life. You can take them to football games. You can take them to the park, play ball with them, and all. Take some time with them, get to know them.
Okay. So, what piece of wisdom would you leave every woman in your life?
Woman should always keep integrity. Never use your body as a commodity. No matter how hard the going get, hold your head up high and keep on trucking on. Never let nobody define who you are. Be yourself. Be yourself.
What piece of wisdom would you leave every child in your life?
Listen. Always be willing to learn and listen. Children, young folks don't want to listen. They want nobody to tell them anything. But the people who are talking to you, they're talking from wisdom and experience and according to what they have seen. They may not experience, but they've seen a whole lot. I was like was trying to tell one of my cousins, how you gonna tell somebody almost 100 years old that you know more than they do? You may know more book wise, but you don't know more.
Life and streetwise.
You might know more streetwise, but there's something about wisdom that they can see further than you can see.
That's good. They can see further than you can see.
I still, you know what? When I worked daycare, I used to love to sit back and watch children. Just sit back and just watch them and look and observe. You can learn a lot from a baby. I, this lady told her son, she told her son had died. She said, "My Billy don't lie." She said, "Hey, babies are born liars."
Mm.
Said they come in this world hollering like somebody done killed them. And all you have to do is go pick them up and they'll shut up.
Lord.
But I, I, I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And just like one of my neighbors, not neighbors, church member, we were going to church and this lady was walking down, Martin Luther King, all dressed up like a hoochie mama. And she was talking in dirt junk about her. She needed to get a job and go to work. She needed to do this and she needed to do that. And she knew. I said, I don't know her story and she don't know mine. I said, something caused her to be that way.
Mm.
I said, for everything you see a person do, it's a reason. You may not know it. I may not know it, but it's a reason. People lose hope. And instead of us, like I was up to Numbers one day, and there was and I just literally laid him out. And the Holy Spirit told me that I was like, he didn't need that.
Mm.
He needed a word of encouragement.
Mm.
And I was sitting on the bus and tears started coming down my eyes.
Mm. Wow.
But I tell him, I said, Darren, I love you, but I don't like your attitude. I don't like the things you do. And I don't help nobody to do wrong.
Well, that's a good philosophy to have because I sure enough have it myself. Mm.
But
So,
I look at him. He's an angry young man. And I know some of the stuff he goes, like he talk about his mama. I said, I don't give a kid what your mama do or what your daddy said she did or what nobody says. She's still your mama. She birthed you in this world. She did something that nobody can do for you. She gave you your life. Many women won't do that. I said, thank her for your life. You don't know what kind of hell she's been through, but I do. Then I told her, I said, if somebody come out on your job, drag you out your job and beat you up and stomp you and kick you, how you feel? I said, I don't care what kind of lie he tell, he can justify it. But what's done is done. You can't do nothing. I said, your daddy had to give an account of what to do, and whatever you do, you got to give an account of. I said, me and my mama didn't get along. And I know I said some things that I shouldn't say. But I most of the time repeated what she said to me. But it took me a long time to remember my mama had a mental problem. But I wouldn't do for her. If she wanted something done, she better call Margaret. If she needed something, she better call me. That's the only way she got it. I told him, I said, don't you never hit me tell you to talk about your mom.
so my next question will be, what form of correction would you leave with the world today? Because chastisement is good for everybody.
The Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. I believe in spanking children when they misbehave. This woman was keeping, I don't know, it was Micah stirred and one on in the street. I said, what did you do? Nothing. I said, you should have spanked his butt. I said, didn't he remember not to go out there in that street? There's a time for everything. That don't mean you gotta beat them to death. Now, if they're gonna buck up at you and want to fight you, you have to use some kind of force. 'Cause I've seen some children, 2 and 3 years old, and the teacher just tell them that they can't have something. They run into them and fight them. Now, I got a great, 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 great nephew. I was sitting in the drugstore. I was standing in the drugstore, and his great grandma was sitting down. And he's with her, and he walked up to this man and hit him. And then he did it again. And she told him not to stop. And she reached for him and he lit in her. I stood there walking outside. I said, you need to have a seat right there, right now. He looked at me, he looked at her, and he looked at the white man. I said, right now. He went and sat down. And the farmer said, how you do that? I said, it was the tone of my voice. I gave him a command. I didn't ask him. I told him. I said, there's a difference. I said, I give children very little joy. Now, little mama, she give Linda hell. But when she's up here, I don't change nothing. If I tell her she can't watch TV, she can't watch TV. And she knows I mean that. And most time, it has become because she changed. I'm watching something and she changed the channel without asking me. I said, if you want to watch something, you ask me. You don't come in my house and take over. I am not your grandma. I am an adult and you are the child. And I don't always spank. I punish.
So there's a long-standing story, Grandma, that when my father was a child, you broke a plate over his head.
That's a lie.
Why is it a lie, Grandma? What happened? Tell the story, Grandma.
Calvin, you know how children they get stubborn or something. I had a Melmac plate. You know how Melmac is not rid of plastic. It's cracked all the way in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that, but I'm gonna listen to you tell the story.
And he said something, and he went by me, and I took that plate and did him upside the head like that. He come into.
So y'all got to hear a little bit of my grandmother's story. There was more to it, but I don't know why the audio cut off on it. However, I hope that this helped you to kind of finish up the story. She pretty much said that she ain't break that plate over his head. She just placed it and it broke. I said, okay, Grandma. But I pray that this blessed you on tonight. You heard some things in it that was real and understanding. And I will see right now if I can actually get the other portion of this audio up so you can hear the last part, because it's really, really good. It's on like 10 more minutes of it. So let's see if we can, I can actually get the last part of it up. Let me find my email. Let's see here. So y'all can hear the rest of it.
So, Grandma, I know you as Grandma and Miss Mickey.
Hold on.
But you had to wash every dish in that kitchen. Guess what? You didn't. And this little white boy was having a tantrum. You didn't wash that ceiling. Because
There's also a story where I don't know what he was doing, but he had done something and he had ran up under the bed. He said you got up on that bed and jumped up on that bed and broke it down on top of him.
you're lying again. The bed would fall if you sit on it. You ain't never had no bed with slats and you fall.
Yes, I
That's what
have.
happened. I told y'all gotta give an account of them lies. You ain't heard none of all them get together now.
Uh-huh. Oh, that is
Now
too
that
funny.
time I whooped their butt. I remember one time I had to go to work and I was living on Pittsburgh and I was gonna miss my bus. And I didn't have none but bus fare and I was catching hell on every side. And I'd be late for work. I wouldn't have no job. But nobody in the house with me and Quinn. I said, Quinn, where is my money? I ain't seen your money, mama. I started whooping her. I said, boy, I'll beat you to death. I said, you ain't caused me to lose my job. No money. Guess what? He took, I don't know, you know how them hot porch, you step down off the porch.
Mm-hmm.
It's right up under there. It's like for the wood to separate.
Uh-huh.
He went up under there. But I beat his butt till he got my money. There's another classic example of giving a child everything he wants. Because Quinn was almost 5 years old when Calvin coming on. Quinn had every toy and everything that ever come out. And the guy used to do the next thing, baby. Said, one I can't find no clothes because he got Quinn had little narrow feet. And I used to buy his shoes at Rosenthal Beauty. It's a store special for children. I buy him Stride Rights and what was that? Buster Brown. And if he pulled out one pair, I polished the nothing. I told people couldn't always have been a dresser because I dressed them. See, what I would do is I'd lay their things away. When they have a sale, I'd lay their things away. I'd buy quality stuff, but I didn't pay quality money for it. I make but they don't let you labor sell products like that now. And at Christmas time, I would go like the J.C. Penney's and Sears and lay their stuff away for next year and pay on it all the year. But they stopped doing that. But that's how I made it. And then in the one when they outgrow their pants and shirts, I cut the sleeves off of them, starch them and iron them, and they look like $1 million. If you got a rag, you put some starch in and iron it, look good.
Well,
But people used to hate my children. People tell me now. Tell me, Drummer, I wish you had been your mama. Most say you crazy. Said, Mama was crazy. I'd be good to them, but they better do what I say do. I never will forget. I come home from work one day. I give all them part out. I said, Calvin, did you wash the ceiling in this living room? Yes, ma'am, Mom. I went in the kitchen, did something, come back. I said, Calvin, did you wash the ceiling in this living room? Yes, ma'am. I said, do you want me to wet my fingers and touch that ceiling and let you know that you didn't wash that ceiling? I said, because if I do, I'm going to beat you till you turn red, white, blue, and black. You wash that ceiling. I said, look, that's where I make my living. I said, I can walk in the house. I don't care how clean it looks, I can tell you it ain't clean. It look clean, but it ain't clean.
that is the truth, because I remember being a little girl playing outside, and we look up. I stayed on West 23rd Street, and look up the hill, and then I see this little lady.
And the two pig legs.
Trotting down the hill with that skirt on, and I knew it was my grandma. And I go run to go find Sharice. I call her Sharice. That's her real name, but we called her Muffin back in the day. But I go find my sister and say, Grandma coming. Grandma coming. Come on, let's clean this room. Let's clean this room. And you get in there, we be cleaning all day long, Jesus, all day long. Y'all shouldn't be leaving these clothes like this. Fold these clothes up now, put them
That's
away.
all you got to do.
They would be everywhere.
My grandma was like this. She didn't tell you but one time. Just one. And you can go all day long. She wouldn't say a thing. But she'd pull your butt up out of that bed. If you didn't go, we'd have to take turns go in the house and bring the coal upstairs to make fire. But I didn't tell you. You didn't. You remember next time you go down there because it'd be dark down there and you could hit a rat. And that coal be wet and you don't know what you're putting your hand on. Oh, you do your homework. If you go in that kitchen and found one dish, you may not have washed that dish, but you had to wash every dish in that kitchen.
Mm.
Guess what? You didn't do it often. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. My grandma whoop your butt and make you sit down, wouldn't let you play, wouldn't let you don't know about nothing. She punish you today. You be glad to do it. Do it right. No way at all. When I worked in a hospital, I used to make 100 quality control all the time. And Mr. Livingston belonged to my church. He was a patient. I said, Miss Brummer, I said, do y'all do this every day? I said, we're supposed to. I said, everybody don't, but I do. Because you playing with other people's lives. That's why that's why you know what? Housekeeping was more efficient and keeping down germs than nurses and I've seen doctors come in isolated patient's room and go in another patient's room and wash their hands.
Mm.
I've seen that with my own eyes.
Well, at least I can say that I ain't never got a whooping from you. I ain't never had. You just had this presence, and I knew whatever you said, I better do. And then hearing lies like she jumped on the bed and broke it down on me. It broke it down on me. Nah, I won't mess with that little lady. I'm good.
I can be good to you. Take it. The only grandchild I remember spanking was Dana.
Oh, what Dana do?
We were down at Mama's on Trade Street. And she got mad at Maryland about something. She hit Maryland, and I sat there and watched to see what Maryland was going to do. She didn't do nothing. I said, come here, Dana. Give me your hand. I took that little hand she got and took this little finger, and I pulled that little hand out. I said, as long as you live and breath stay in your body, you better not never hit your mama. As your mama birthed you in this world, and you remember that. You don't never let no child get. I look at them. I was in a J.C. Penney, Janine, and this little white boy was having a temper tantrum. And she told his mama, you telling a damn lie. All I can do. I said, he should have been mine. I just had to be in jail. Because I'd have smacked his teeth out right there. You're having a bad day, and I would be having one too. Them white, what was Eddie Murphy? One of them to me was talking about, no, what's the crazy guy? Steve
Harvey?
Yeah. He said, my mama, I've been sliding across the floor. Tell them the black folks. When they integrated the school system, our black race went to parts.
Why do you feel that way?
Well, when I was going to school, you had to dress a certain way. We couldn't wear flip-flops to school. We couldn't wear short shorts to school. We had a dress code. I remember when I was going to school, boys couldn't wear blue jeans. They had to wear corduroy pants. You couldn't wear anything. Teachers couldn't dress it. Your teacher couldn't come to school with a dresses above their knee. Teachers dressed like they was in an office somewhere working. Well, an office worker don't wear that. Now they wear anything. You just couldn't wear anything and dress with your low, all your boobs showing. This little boy was up there at Paisley and he was mentally challenged. And the teacher bent over and he stuck his hand down in her bosom. They put that boy in jail.
Mm.
Then they couldn't. They didn't want the children discipline. They didn't want the children discipline. They took the best black teachers and put them in the white neighborhood. But some teachers ain't gonna change. I don't care where you put them. Miss Watt said, the teacher said, "I'm glad you got my son, so he make better grades in because she was no nonsense." She went. She had a present about her. Said, "Look, I'm here to teach and you here to learn. If you don't want to learn, you gotta go." In my classroom, and I was, I don't care. I don't care. I had the Gilmores in my room. I don't care who you're telling me. I treat them all alike. That little child can't have because his mama can't buy him $50 dresses and stuff. I remember when Tiffany was at Cleveland daycare. I went down there and Kathy Brave had Tiffany walking around in her arm. Oh, Drummer, she's so cute. I said, she's cute, put her on the bed. She ain't no cuter than the rest of them. I said, you ain't walking around the rest of them. You know, put her on the bed. Her mama have to go to school and work. Put her on the bed. And I said, Tiff, I come up here and you ain't on your bed. You going to have to deal with Aunt Mickey.
Well,
Now, why she going to be an exception to her? Because she got long, pretty hair. I don't believe in that stuff.
I got two more questions for you, Grandma. And we're gonna close it out. What is your favorite Bible scripture and why?
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Because if you learn to treat people like you want to be treated, then this will be a better world. I wouldn't want nobody mistreating my children. I wouldn't want nobody disrespecting me. I wouldn't want nobody to hurt my feelings deliberately. Sometimes you have to hurt people to get them to get your point across. But treat people like you want to be treated yourself, with respect, dignity, and honor. And every person you see is somebody's child. I look on the street out there at the men and women. I said, that's some mother's child. Some mother's child. Some mother's child.
What has God taught you the most that you would like to share and leave with us today?
To be real, to be humble, to be old. Now, I cut up a lot, which is that that my cousin made me see the bed of that girl right there on that picture. She said, Mickey, you can be as good as gold. But you just say some things you ain't got no business saying.
Yes.
That made I didn't get mad at her. That made me took a look at myself. So I started to change it. Stop that. Well, we've been doing it all our lives. I said, you can learn from a child. But I asked little mama, I said, little mama, you want to go with me today? No, Aunt Mickey. I said, why? Because you won't let me do what I want to do. I said, sure ain't.
Well,
Well, you know why? We were down at the mission. And I said, you stay near me. I said, because it's not safe for the girls to run around. I said, men grab people, kidnap little children, they don't never be seen again. She had that little tiny cart going by. I looked sick, I couldn't find little mama nowhere. only way I found her was that little stick sticking up on the car. I said, if I tell you again, you're gonna be in trouble. She did it again. So whatever she had in her basket, I made her put it all back.
Well, so as a mother in Zion, I love you, I respect you, and I cherish you. And thank you for being a light in a dark world. And thank you for seeing the God in me and accepting the call to this vision. You are a wonderful mother in Zion.
Well, thank you. But I'm a terrible mother sometimes.
Lord, have mercy.
What you just heard, what you just listened to was my grandmother, Margaret J. Drummond, speaking wisdom, dropping nuggets, just telling us like what life was and giving advice. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is only part one. There's two more parts. Um, and I hope you look forward to seeing them. And I hope that it was a blessing to you. I love you all to life. Godspeed. You have a blessed night.